the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media. You're watching Rogers TV.
City.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Alumni Stadium here in Guelph, Ontario, as the Guelph Union will conclude their regular season here at home against FC London Women. I'm Jason Hagcomb, joined alongside Scott Fraser, and Scott, for the Guelph Union here. They're going to close out their season. It's been a season of ups and downs, but they want to close the season out with some pride against an FC London team that's already got themselves a playoff spot locked up.
Absolutely, and just pride on the line for Union, but also a chance to finish off at 500. Coming into this game, just one game below it, a win to finish out on their home field would be fantastic for Union and kind of spoil the party for FC London, who have a chance to jump up on the table with a win here today. Obviously, see it on the screen. 7-8 the Union are so far this season after an inaugural season that was nothing short of fantastic. It will be a premature ending to their year this summer, but Onkar Dillon's team still has a lot to be happy about. Meanwhile, FC London with a chance to improve to 13-4 with a win here on Alumni Field today.
And you know, FC London, they definitely want to close it out with that win to get that momentum rolling as they head into the playoffs. And as we look at our players to watch for FC London, let's take a look at their player to watch. That's number 4, Julia Benatti.
Julia Benatti, the midfielder, has been, again, fantastic and kind of the straw that stirs the drink for FC London and a real big part of their success so far. 11 goals on the season for the midfielder, and again, very, very conservative and smart on the field. 0 cards so far for Benatti.
Very clean player, and obviously you see she spent time at the University of Buffalo in the NCAA where she scored 16 goals. And for Guelph, their player to watch, obviously, will be number 16, Alyssa Hodgson, as we're underway here in Guelph. As the Union get it here, playing it back. Early possession for them, which will be key, and they will have to battle the elements as the wind has picked up here at Alumni Stadium. We are under a severe thunderstorm watch here in Guelph, Ontario, so we'll hope the rain does hold off here as we're not even about a minute in with a throw in, as you can see there, the graphic on the screen, and very big winds, 33-kilometer-an-hour winds from the southeast.
Yeah, you can hear it, and I think you can see it and hear it through our microphones, Jason. It is picking up quickly here at Alumni Field, and that might have an effect on FC London's final game of their regular season, as they need a win much more than Union do, but we can see how this game plays out, and hopefully the weather does hold off here for 90 minutes.
And Guelph clears that attempt there. That was Alana Starcevic, so it'll be another FC London throw. Little short throw, and maybe that's due to the conditions of the wind, but the Union intercept. Starcevic passes that back, looking to get it back here for the keeper in Brenneman.
Brenneman and our player to watch, Alyssa Hodgson, play a little pitch and catch there, and Hodgson moves the ball upfield, and watch Union up the sidelines. They really, really like that sideline advance and really kind of try to use that backdoor play, and Danielle Sauve, who's starting in this game, is a very, very dangerous player to watch as well.
as London will push it up here. And when you looked at the stats at the opening there, one thing you saw was goals for London, 44. And when you look, even break those stats down more, London, a team that is in double digits in goals in the second half, so they like to get things going maybe a little bit later, but there's a good chance, just a little too much on that for FC London, and easily to be scooped up by Elizabeth Brenneman.
Yeah, and it's funny to see how teams perform in the first and second half comparatively. Guelph United, the men's team here, are dangerous beyond belief in the second half, but pretty quiet in the first half. So teams have this contrast of when they like to get their goals on the board, and whatever matters is after 90 minutes who has more than the other, and right now it's 0-0.
Zavitz couldn't handle that, and that was a nice little play developing for London, but Guelph intercepts, and now the Union have it. Guelph with it there with Daniel Save, excuse me. Popped up, chesting it down, and London, once they've got their legs under themselves a little bit here early, just 3 minutes in, putting the pressure on, trying to cut the field off and make Guelph have to earn getting that possession up.
Control has definitely been on Union's side so far, but it's all been in their own half, and as you mentioned, Jason, FC London has been all over the ball the minute it touches a Union player's foot.
The keeper, Jaden Steinhauer, recovered that, and now London looked to get out here on another break. Had a nice play develop about a minute or so ago, but good pressure here from the Union. That was Cassandra Briscoe trying to get in there for Guelph. Now picked up here by London with Rachel Roseborough. Trying to dribble through a couple of bodies there was Maddie McKenzie. Now picked up with Morgan Blair to Avery Thomas.
And there will be this feeling out process, as there's been in every single League One game so far this season.
Well, that's a beautiful ball. Good scoring chance for London, and way to get back there was number 5 for Guelph, Laura Morelli, as that was a good breakaway chance there for Natalie Abadi for London to get the opening goal at around the 5-minute mark. Will be a corner kick here for FC London with our player to watch, Julia Benatti.
And as I was trying to mention that it's a feeling out process, London obviously gets that golden chance on goal, and Benatti does digress over to Zavitz, who can't find anyone in the box.
Shot attempt came on, but didn't have enough on it, and it will go out of bounds for a goal kick for Guelph. But you know, in a game 4-2, Guelph, where they're playing for pride, as we talked about off the top, you like to see that hustle back, where you're not just going to concede those breakaway attempts. And great job to get back, as we said before, for Morelli, and Guelph just, you know, still playing with something to prove here on their final regular season game.
And regardless of the sport, teams love playing spoiler. And
Absolutely.
Union, with a ton of success under their belt in just their second season so far, have a ton of talent, and Onkar Dillon's team knows how to win soccer games, and FC London came into Guelph today knowing that it was going to be a full 90-minute battle. As the wind picks up here at Alumni Stadium, as we hold on to our hats.
Well, the wind picks up, and so does the pressure from FC London, as you can see why this is a team in the playoffs. Good ability to move the ball, and they're looking to get something going again here with Benatti. Nice ball on the far wing, but couldn't complete the pass cleanly there to Tennille Gay, and will once again go out of bounds, and will be a goal kick again for Guelph.
Can we get some tape to the desk when you have sunrise?
As Guelph will get it back for their keeper.
And again, Hodgson and Brenneman playing pitch and catch here, and Brenneman with that big boot, not afraid to boot it downfield, but elects to go to the sideline where Union creates most of their chances.
Touch wasn't good there for Guelph, and will be a London throw.
As our play-by-play man, Jason Hagholm, clears his throat. That was not a chuckle. That was definitely
definitely a little bit of a tickle in the throat there, as London trying to find a way to tickle the twine eventually here around the 7-minute mark. And there's Benatti. Good job by Benatti, but the pass wasn't there cleanly for Rosaborough, and it will be a Guelph throw. And London, you can see why Benatti was our player to watch. Not only the 11 goals, but just wearing the captain's armband, a leader not only in the locker room, but especially on the pitch here for London, as that'll be out of bounds and another Guelph throw.
Yeah, and Benatti into the 8th minute has made us look good for being a player to watch, because she's been all over the football so far.
She's been all over it, and there she is with it again, Benatti. Looking for that open space, and that's exactly what she does find. Nice pass off to Chelsea Zavitz. And Zavitz' last touch towards London going forward wasn't a clean one, and easy work for Brenneman to scoop up the ball. Brenneman with it again. Near giveaway, but good job by the Guelph Union to get their composure. There's Benatti. Nice dribblings from Benatti as she reverts her way back.
Yeah, Benatti so far has looked head and shoulders better than everyone on the pitch today, so we'll see if she can find her 12th marker of the season as she has the ball on her feet again.
And there's Benatti. Benatti, nice little move, trying to break it on in. Finds the open player there in Zavitz. Zavitz shot from distance outside the box, but didn't have a lot on it, and easy job for the keeper for Guelph, Elizabeth Brenneman, to make the save. But right there, you can just see how having a player like Benatti is important. She, as you said, Scott, the straw that stirs the drink and gets that offense going, and everyone defensively for Guelph has to focus on her, and it leaves a lot of more spaces open near the box.
She really, really does draw defenders towards her, and then has that vision to find the open player when she's now double teamed or 3-on-1. To Sauve, who has a whole heap of speed in her feet, has the ball on her feet there and crosses.
Header down, and it's going to be in the net. What a goal! Beautiful header for the Guelph Union. They break the deadlock. They were on their heels early, but the first scoring chance for the Union, and they put it on in the back of the net. That was number 9, Olivia Brown. Perfect header on a beautiful feed from Danielle Sauve.
And Sauve and Brown have really, really been a tandem that has caused nightmares for opponents so far this season. In this final game, at least one more time as they connect for another marker to open the scoring.
Well, that's what you got to do if you're Guelph. You may not get a lot of chances with how London controlled the possession here early on in the first half, but Brown gets the beautiful touch there from Sauve and puts the head on it, gets Guelph up 1-0. Earliest London tries to come back with a header of their own for looking for Chelsea Zavitz. Just a little too much on it.
And that ball came off the foot of Benatti again, so right on the mark.
Well, now you can just see the tempo pick up. Guelph's got some pep in their step, and London now even putting into an extra gear as well. They're already controlling the possession, but now they want an equalizer quickly too.
And that feeling out process is even more prevalent when these two teams haven't met each other until today this season, so it's a lot of unfamiliarity that is going to get real familiar real quick.
As Guelph, they regain the possession. Nice cross up for Brown, but doesn't have the numbers, loses out, and London will bring this ball up the pitch as they're looking. They saw the idea what they were looking for there. They're looking for Allie Hicks, but Guelph defensively intercepts. Now the ball deflects, and London, they've got themselves a good opportunity. Pass behind Hicks, easily picked up there by Sauve, as that will go out of bounds for a London throw. As London continuing to turn it up, looking for some good opportunities, but Guelph stepping up defensively as well. Getting their feet in the lanes.
And when they get their chances, making the most of it so far. And Sauve, the little engine that could, not the biggest player out there, but quite possibly one of the fastest and definitely the most energetic. So keep an eye on number 3 for Union this afternoon.
As the wind may have affected that ball for Hicks, it'll go out Good defensive skills there for Jasmine Burke to just let that ball roll out for the goal kick.
Jasmine Burke, the young Guelph local that came back home to play for Union, has been nothing short of as advertised for Cardillac, and she boots one way up the field.
Beats everyone. Will go right to the London keeper, Jaden Steinhauer. Be careful with these possessions as Steinhauer way nearly out of the crease, but way out of her net. As London will get it here towards Benatti. Benatti out on the wing for Rachel Roseborough. Now looking for Allie Hicks again, but that's nicely cleared by the Union. Popped up, headed forward, but it will go out of bounds. Out of play will be another London throw.
And a clean catch by Shane Campbell, one of the members of the coaching staff for the Union.
Nice throw in towards Hicks, who did well to chest it down. Now with it here is Maddie McKenzie. Off to Hicks. Back to Roseborough. Roseborough, she's got some speed, and that's where they're going to go with to Benatti. Benatti, but good work defensively by Guelph with Sauve, and Guelph will just clear this one. Sauve tried to keep it alive, but the force of the kick, and I think as well the wind, as we talked about those factors, as Benatti will just punt one up, going to the far side looking for Gay, but too much on it, will be a Guelph throw.
And that wind definitely carried that ball out of play. And the funny thing about Sauve today, she's usually on a wing with Brown up front, but with the talent of Benatti for London, Sauve and her foot speed have been pulled back to the midfield, and it's been almost a one-on-one isolation play with Union kind of making sure that Sauve is no more than a few feet away from Benatti.
Now London, they like to get back in this quickly here. Roseborough off for Allie Hicks. Hicks tries to cross it in, but Guelph will clear. And near collision, but avoided, but still possession goes with FC London. Shot from distance, hit the field goal uprights for the Guelph Griffins who play here for U Sports Football. Not the uprights FC London was hoping to hit, but you can see just the talent of skill at this League One level.
And quite a strike, high and a little wide, but still a lot of muscle on that football. So a fantastic opportunity for FC London from way out, but Elizabeth Brenneman didn't really have to move as it was high and wide, as Jason mentioned.
Benatti, nice little move, crossing back inside the center. Benatti from distance. That hit the head there of the Guelph defender, Jasmine Burke. Battle goes on for it. Guelph will win it, but Tennille Gay intercepts. Gay with the feed. They get it back for Gay. The shot from distance, and it just rolls out past the far side of the post, but that's London's best chance so far here in the first half.
A bit of a change-up, if you excuse the sports pun, but almost beat Brenneman, as I think we'll get another look at it here and see Gay just line it up and might have dribbled off one of the Union defenders, and just wide. Post.
Well, as happens in the game of soccer, sometimes you get bailed out by those bounces. But you want to see also if London can find a way to get Tennille Gay on the opposite wing involved as well. You can see she's very shifty, very speedy, and you can pair that up with Benatti. That's a deadly duo, and so far so good on Guelph defensively. But if London can get her in the game, and maybe a little bit of problems you see in our here. London already 4 shots towards Brenneman in that Guelph net, with Guelph just the one, but it's been in the back of the net.
It was a shot and a shot on goal and a goal. So Guelph's got it done when they've had their one and only opportunity, as that one almost went off Sauve's hand. However, I did want to bring it up that with FC London kind of relying on Benatti on that one wing, it's kind of a one-trick pony, and Onkar Dillon and Shane Campbell are able to adjust with a very good defensive team. That we'll see how long that lasts for FC London, with Benatti pretty much creating and starting all of the offensive chances.
Mazur had it for a split second there for Guelph, but once again Benatti and FC London. Now here for Gay out on the far wing. Gay seeing some fancy footwork from her. Gay cross inside the box, and no one in a white kit can get a hold of it. Good job defensively by the Guelph Union. An easy job to be covered up by Brenneman.
This game brought to you by Market Fresh, but here's our replay from the Lang Innovation team and another look at that save by Brenneman, who has been far and away the much busier of the goalkeepers so far in this match as we're into the 18th minute.
Yeah, Brenneman's definitely been busy. Hasn't been forced to really make a save, but they felt the pressure, and it's really tested the Guelph Union defensive core. They've bent but not broken here as we're approaching 20 minutes here in the first half, and we'll see if Guelph can get another chance, but the London numbers defensively works out, and Jaden Steinhauer just clears that up for FC London. Maybe another bounce here, and Guelph does get it. Well, thought they were going to get it there, but the numbers worked out again for FC London as they'll just clear this one out of danger. Now scooped up by Jasmine Burke for the Guelph Union. Pass to number 15 there, Vanessa Mazur. Makes a bit of a mess of that onto the far side now, picked up by the FC London's number 12, Rosaborough, still with it. Now nice job to intercept there was the likes of number 5, Laura Morelli, anticipated the play, and the Union are still able to keep that alive.
Briscoe with a great hustle there to keep that ball in play and almost found Brown's foot for an opportunity for her second of the match, but it was all for naught as FC London back the other way. That one goes off Save and out of play.
And Guelph, they're being a little aggressive, trying to initiate, get themselves back in the game. They know they can't just rest on their laurels, being up 1-0 here with plenty of soccer left to be played. I like that they're trying to put their foot on the gas and come at FC London, where they've been very defensive, but FC London now, they're going to come forward here with Benatti. Now to Gay. Gay, nice cross inside the box. Hicks, the shot. Save made by Brenneman. Second chance opportunity, no, as it's cleared away by the Guelph Union. Still bouncing around. Goes down, does number 10 and Chelsea Zavitz for FC London, but London still keeping it alive here. Rosaborough circles, keeps it away, but Brenneman showing some sensational save there, as that looked like a potential sure goal for FC London to equalize, as Gay is back with it. Official says play on. Taken down is Gay.
And that one will be called. There was a bit of contact earlier after that Hicks chance on Brenneman. And Brenneman, almost on cue, Jason, had to make her best save of the game and really her first real challenge. But man, oh man, it's going to be a long offseason for Union, but maybe slightly shorter for Elizabeth Brenneman after that.
So off the corner, another save made by Brenneman on the shot from Benatti. So two big saves in quick succession there from Brenneman. Keeps the scoreline 1-0 for the Guelph Union.
And London has looked a lot more crisp and clean in terms of their approach in this game, but Union playing like there is no tomorrow here, because in all reality for them this season, there is no tomorrow. So throwing it all on the table and really trying to keep up with a fantastic FC London club so far.
And, you know, we talked about moments ago of Guelph pushing forward. When your keeper makes saves like that, it just motivates you that much more to bail out the keeper, get her another goal on the board, and that's exactly what Guelph's trying to do there with the pressure from Cassandra Briscoe.
And again, another sports cross reference, give her some run support, just like we saw Kevin Gosman finally get some earlier in the week on Friday night for the Blue Jays, who scored almost a league record, but 28 runs for them in the win against the Red Sox down in Beantown.
Benatti gets it here for Gay, but a little too much on that touch. But Gay will recover, get it out, and nice burst of speed once again from London. The cross in the box, pop fly scenario, and that ball is cleared here by Guelph, and good job there by the Guelph Union to see the open space, get it to them, and then Brown will hop it back here to Save. And then they were looking for Briscoe. Ball will bounce around, and London will just let it go for the throw, as Rachel Rosaborough will do the honors. Rosaborough weighing her options here.
Probably waiting for the wind to quiet down just a little bit as well.
I think that's mostly what it is. You've seen the throws here early, a lot shorter. You can't really control what the ball's going to do in those long throw scenarios.
Yeah, no one's throw one for the fences for a third cross reference. But yeah, exactly, Jason. I think that's a great point, that because of the wind, it kind of changes those throws from the sideline to be shorter, lower, and maybe every kind of attack towards the opponent's goal will be the same. We'll see from this corner. I think Benatti will take it.
And this time Benatti will do the honors. Benatti, nice strike into the box, and the header just can't be completed there as they were looking for Rachel Roseborough. That was a beautiful corner kick from Benatti.
The wind seemed to kind of miss that one, right? It was unaffected, and it was fantastic. And unfortunately for Benatti and FC London, unable to complete the play, but a fantastic ball from the corner kick as Salve has it now on the near side.
Salve has it here, but Benatti picks up. That could have been a near handball, but Guelph will take that and roll on as our goal scorer Olivia Brown gets it with Briscoe, who gets taken down, and a free kick coming up here for the Guelph Union. And you've been talking about the feeling out process, Scott. I think after that goal and the tempo, it's definitely gone away. They're being a little bit more aggressive here in the last 5-10 minutes or so.
The roof came off after that first goal. It was no more tentativeness whatsoever, as Laura Morelli will take the free kick for Union from midfield.
It's a nice free kick there from Morelli. You can see the ball just kind of die as it entered the box because of the wind. That kick was going right into the wind, but easily dealt with here by the FC London keeper, Jaden Steinhauer. Off here for Morgan Blair. As London will pick up steam, that's Megan Scott. Nice run from Megan Scott. Off to Benatti. Nice attempt of the pass there for 18 Ali Hicks, but too much on it and easily picked up by Brenneman.
And with this game meaning next to nothing for Union, we'll see if Onkar Dillon does make some substitutions throughout the first and second half to kind of get the rest of his players into the matchup. And the same thing goes for FC London, who can advance in the table with a win, depending on what happens. There's 9 games going on in League One Ontario today, so a lot of wild card outcomes depending on the scenarios that may or may not play out. But we'll see how everyone's kind of distributed and used as London back towards the Union goal.
But good job by Salve to intercept, get it back to the keeper, Brenneman, who just boots one down for Olivia Brown. Briscoe in a nice battle, and she'll win it. Briscoe tries to find Brown, but cut down by the London defense. Briscoe still putting nice pressure on. You love the motor on her. Her compete still high, even though the Union won't make the playoffs, and this is their final game. Benatti gets it back for FC London. That was Chelsea Zavitz. Now back to Zavitz. Very calculated drive going forward here for FC London, and they do get it there to Natalie Abadi, and that one is out.
I believe called offside.
Offside, excuse me.
But it was a fingertip save and then a bit of help from the crossbar for Brenneman, and FC London not going away anytime soon, but it will be a... Excuse me, it was not offside. It was actually called out of play off the crossbar of the goalpost and then off of the field goal post.
This is about the 4th corner kick here in the first half for the Guelph Union, as it'll be another corner kick there from Benatti, but right into the box with a sea of red kits, and will go out of play. And they'll still say it'll be FC London ball. So FC London still putting the pressure on.
And outside of that Olivia Brown marker to start this scoring in this ball game, it has been all FC London all day long.
Yeah, they've been putting the pressure on. Had 2 real good scoring chances, but denied by the Guelph Union keeper Elizabeth Brenneman. And if you are London too, you gotta like putting the pressure on, but you still have to figure out the way to beat Brenneman, especially with you having a postseason ahead.
Yeah, it has to be frustrating so far, and again, just almost to the completion of the 27th minute mark, but I don't think FC London has any fears here with the way they've played so far in this match, that if they keep doing what they're doing, success will come.
Success will come. They've definitely got a very talented team. Talked about their goals for 44 goals for this season to just under 20 allowed. So they're a very tight team as they look to break out once again. That time, once good move by Ali Hicks to avoid the defender. Now here for Benatti. Benatti, nice cross, looking for Gay, but too much on it, will go out of play. Another goal kick for Guelph.
Yeah, and again, it's just a matter of time between Benatti and Gay before that actually clicks, because it has just been an inch off the mark multiple times for London's two best players.
And there's a good shot there of Benatti, who was our player to watch. 11 goals this season here in League One Canada, Ontario, for this FC London team. And she's was playing some NCAA level soccer south of the border at the University of Buffalo in that MAC conference. So she's been playing with some elite level competition just south of the border here of Guelph. Or excuse me, I should say of London, as she does represent London.
Also just south of Guelph, and
yeah.
Buffalo, I heard, is beautiful this time of year.
Exciting times to be a Buffalo sports fan with the NFL around the corner. Buffalo Bills, odds on Super Bowl favorites right now. Buffalo Sabres starting to get in form and look like a solid team. And obviously those Buffalo Bisons baseball and the University of Buffalo, always a good football and soccer level programs.
Yeah, the Bills have maybe the brightest season ahead of themselves, and the Mafia is smiling ear to ear as we approach football season south of the border, and I feel like a lot of tables we jump through sooner or later down in Buffalo.
As FC London hopes to break through here, as the Bills Mafia break through tables in a few months or so, as they get it here for Benatti. But a little too much on that, but good job by Benatti. She got the deflection and gets out on a nice rush for FC London. Puts on the brakes, does Benatti, waits for some more support to come. Nice feed off for Benatti. That's to Avery Thomas. Tried to header it down. Now Avery Thomas will settle this back. Get it for Benatti again. Benatti, nice feed in for Ali Hicks. Hicks, a turn fire, and that'll go just over the crossbar and out of play. But another good rush developed by FC London.
And not to hit the repeat button, but Julia Benatti, very fun to watch, and again, just looks head and shoulders above everyone else on the pitch, as she's just making everything happen for FC London so far. Unfortunately for them, unable to solve Elizabeth Brenneman in the Union goal.
You also do wonder, as we've talked about the weather, how much that's affected maybe, the style of play, where Benatti wants to put the ball. You got to adjust on the fly, and sometimes that's hard to do, as we get a whistle, and it'll be a free kick here for FC London. They take it very quickly, as FC London really wants to get going. They've just been in gear. They just haven't got anything to show for it, as Benatti stops. Nice feed in there for Natalie Abadi, and she goes down hard, grabbing her lower back.
And that's not something you ever want to see, and especially for FC London, Abadi looks like she is in a serious amount of pain after that hard tackle. And with a team like FC London, you don't want to lose anybody, regardless of where they stand in your depth chart, but especially a player of Abadi or Benatti, that caliber is almost incapable of coming back from should they go down for the postseason. But Abadi is back to her feet and appears like she will continue.
And it's good to see Abadi get back up. That looked like a bit of a hard challenge there. She was grabbing her lower back, but she's tough. She'll shake it off, and we'll get back to the action here at Alumni Stadium in Guelph. I'm Jason Hagum alongside Scott Fraser for the final regular season game for the Guelph Union here in their 2022 campaign. And Tennille Gay intercepts. Gay, nice feed for Abadi, and she fanned on the shot. Second chance for Abadi, trying to bring it down. Hicks, the shot off the woodwork, and they're going to say offside.
I believe that was actually high and off the field goal post just above the crossbar. But yeah, yet another good golden chance for FC London, who just can't seem to catch a break here, as we are seconds away from the 33rd minute and almost on our way to halftime, but still a lot of the first half left to go here. And Union with that 1-0 lead, and FC London left scratching their heads saying, what do we have to do?
Good chance down the wing was developing, but unfortunately Lanhani can't get a hold of it. Will go out of play, and will be another throw in here for FC London. I really want to look at those possession stats here in the first half. It feels like the field just shifted all in favor of the team in white. FC London, they're developing here. Here's Benatti. Benatti, nice feed in for Hicks. Hicks, all she has to do is put her foot on it, and we get the equalizer. 1-1 here in the 33rd minute.
In just a matter of time, Jason, and as mentioned, what do you have to do? Put the ball on the foot of Julia Benatti so she can find her teammate Hicks, who makes no mistake, and Elizabeth Brenneman, no chance on this one, as Benatti just a fantastic cross to Hicks in the box, who was not missing or fanning on that one. Puts it home with authority to draw FC London level with Union here, officially now into the 34th minute.
1-1 here in Guelph, and that was just a beautiful play. Developed off the throw. Benatti was directing traffic where she wanted the ball because she knew Hicks was coming in, and all she had to do was deliver the perfect feed. And Hicks, there's no way she could make a mess out of that easy touch, and we get ourselves leveled up here at 1. And that's exactly what we thought would happen. It's just a matter of time. London chipping away. Brenneman made 2 good saves earlier on here in the first half, but no chance for her there, as she was left hung out to dry due to some great play and ball movement by FC London.
And we'll see if FC London continues to pour it on. As you mentioned, the possession numbers are heavily favored for the visitors so far here at Alumni Stadium. And if Julia Benatti stays in this game for much longer, I feel like those numbers will not change, because she has controlled most of the pace of this play.
There's another good chance here for FC London that was developing, as London will get it here with Megan Scott. Up to Benatti. Try to get it back to Benatti. And Guelph will finally get a hold of it. It's been a whole solid about 10 minutes or so where Guelph really had a possession, and they finally get a throw in their favor.
Yeah, Jaden Steinhauer is probably getting a little bored down there in the FC London goal. Even though this game is tied, she has not seen much action at all or any kind of danger, as her teammates have possessed the ball for the vast majority of this first half.
I think, though, if you are Jaden Steinhauer, bored is a good thing in this situation where your team's had possession. They've been working hard, and they finally got that equalizer, and now will continue to press to get their first lead of the game here. Free kick for the Union. Popped up from Savoy, but Benatti will win it back, and good job by Benatti just to clear the danger, but still a dangerous scenario with a throw-in coming for Guelph.
Yeah, and it is those few and far between opportunities that can end up in the back of your own net that are just kind of suck the wind out of your sails kind of goals, and Guelph with the chance here to make that happen yet again.
Pass back for Morgan Blair. Blair will take her time. Set that up here with Megan Scott. Scott back for Avery Thomas. Thomas felt the pressure there. Good work by Guelph. That's number 15, Vanessa Mazur. But London eventually gets it back in their hands, and here's Hicks. Hicks has some space to work with. Can Hicks get the motor on? She just can't. That'll go out, but that was looking like another dangerous scenario from FC London, trying to get that go-ahead goal here in the 37th minute.
And that chemistry from all of the London players is off the charts good. So it'll be fantastic to see if any team can kind of find their way to solve FC London in the postseason, because they look like they are a well-oiled machine here in this game against Guelph Union.
Yeah, they move the ball very efficiently. Everyone kind of knows where they're going to be before the passes even come, and even when you're trying to direct traffic, you have someone like Benatti who's a general. You see why she wears that captain's armband, as this will go for Brenneman for a goal, for a pass up. But that's what makes teams, you know, so dangerous. They teach it to you at the beginning levels of any sport. Chemistry is everything.
And the talent you have, Benatti, is obviously what we brought up probably too many times to count here so far into the 38th minute. But the rest of FC London on the field have been equally as good and equally as crisp and clean with the ball so far in this first half. And if not for Brenneman and a few goalposts, this game would be a much different score than 1-1.
When you have someone the caliber of Brenneman, or excuse me, of the likes there of Julia Benatti, like, her skill level is impressive for her and an individual, but it just makes everyone play up a level, and that's why I think FC London's had so much success this season. You're not just relying on Benatti to, you know, here's the ball, you do it, we'll figure it out. She makes everyone up their game, and that's a good leader and why this FC London's had so much success this season.
Ever been the worst player on a good team?
Yeah,
I have. It's not a good feeling.
I think we both have. That's why we're here right now, Scott.
Up on the hill, and we watch and get to chit-chat as these athletes and fantastic athletes perform.
As London gets a nice shot from distance there, as Maddie McKenzie puts on a blast from distance, and Brenneman was strong again, held her ground, easily knocked it down and gained the possession back and boots one up. As
for the first time in a long time, Jaden Steinauer gets a touch.
And Jaden Steinauer called for that one, and wisely so. Was going a little too much for the defenders. Let her just touch it and regroup things here for FC London. Taken up here by Thomas. Nice ball from Thomas. Thomas has the support here. There is Natalie Abadi. Abadi keeps it in, trying to get it back for the likes of Benatti, but off a Guelph foot, so it'll be a throw for FC London. Thomas heads that one, but off the shin there of Vanessa Mazur of Guelph. Now Abadi turns, tries to cross that one in. Ball cycles and spins around, and Guelph does clear.
That was some fancy footwork from Abadi, who went left, right, left. Unfortunately crossed it into the box where there was no teammate to be found, but a heck of a play and a heck of a show of skill set.
That was Rachel Rosaborough that had the opportunity to develop there, but too much on it. Well, went off a Guelph body, so it will be another corner kick here for FC London, and they have been dangerous from the set pieces. Haven't had anything to show from it, but they're nearing around, I would say, 8 or 9 corners here in the first half.
And that one was labeled from Benatti to Abadi, and Brenneman read it all the way, but you're right, you're not wrong at all, Jason. 8 or 9, I would say, would be my guess for corners, and if I could track possession and be that good at math, I would say that it would be 95% in favor of FC London over Union so far in this game into the 41st minute now.
Well, producer Neil White gave me the correct stat. About five corners FC London have had, and that was a real good one, but Brenneman did very well. As London, they look to continue to push the pace here as we are approaching halftime. A little too much on that one from Thomas. Will be a Guelph throw. Solveig throws that one in for Guelph. Nice job chesting it down. Will be Guelph ball again. Well, Guelph, they broke the deadlock. They got that goal from Olivia Brown early here in the first half, and you know they want to close out this first half strong, get some chances developed, but so far right now it's been easier said than done.
And again, well out of the playoff picture, but finishing at 500 or 2 games below is a huge difference for your team's mentality heading into the winter months. And with AC Lang and Julie Carnes sitting on the sidelines right now, you know we're going to see them here in this finale of the regular season for Union. So a lot of talent and a lot of experience on that sideline for Union that have still not seen a minute of play just yet, but I don't see there any quit coming here for the Guelph team in the second half as we are inching closer and closer to halftime.
No, I wouldn't as well. And as well as we talked about, this is the last game, and you kind of want to evaluate your talent and where things go with another half to go. That's what Guelph will try to do here. Guelph will get moving quickly. Nice pass to Briscoe. Briscoe nearing for Brown. Brown in a battle. Can Brown win it? No. But Savoy nearly got a hold of it, but now it's London out here on a break. Nice work from the likes of Benatti. But Guelph will clear. And that ball will just stop dead, easily to be picked up by Morgan Blair, who will let it go, and it'll actually be a goal kick.
So yet again, Jaden Steinauer getting involved, and just a short little pass off to one of the defenders. And for FC London, you have to really like what you've done so far, but expect more from what you've done here in the first half with just a 1-1 draw as we speak.
You know, 1-1 here as we are approaching the 43rd minute. Nice pass off for Hicks. Gay will do a good job settling it down. Now Gay gets it to Zavitz, but that'll go off a Guelph body and will be another throw here for FC London. Zavitz for Gay. Gay got the ball caught up in her feet. Nice cross in. They're looking for a body, and she puts it in the back of the net with a header. And London, FC London, goes up 2-1 before the halftime whistle.
A fantastic ball to find a body's head, and my goodness, that is just talent on display. That's Hicks crossing it over and finds a body in the box and stays onside. No question whatsoever, and a very nonchalant finish from the London striker.
It's a good job for a body to finish that, but Guelph defensively too busy ball watching, not picking up a body who broke on in, and all she had to do, good job by her to put the touch on and put it in the back of the net here as London gets the go-ahead goal. They're up 2-1, and Olivia Brown tries to break in, but the flag goes up and offside as Brown was looking for her second of the game.
Yeah, that one was almost too good to be true, and I guess it was absolutely too good to be true as Brown was flagged down there, and that would have been a real backbreaker and kind of a dream crusher if the Union was able to get that one in to tie this game back up before the half.
But you like to see that right after the Abadi goal, they get things going, trying to equalize themselves before the halftime whistle. That's what you like to see in a team here in Guelph that'll finish around the middle of the pack. But you want to keep putting the pressure on and try to compete with the top tier here in League One.
Yeah, and I think the scoreboard doesn't quite tell the whole story as we are now into the 45th minute, and that will bring us to the halftime.
Yeah, no extra time added as the Guelph Union are down 2-1 to FC London here in the first half at Alumni Stadium. And my color man here, Scott Fraser, he'll talk with Shane Campbell of the Guelph Union next at halftime. So as we take a break, it's FC London up 2-1 on the Guelph Union.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Weekly in-depth coverage of the most local stories in Stratford Perth, Brantford Brant, Guelph Wellington, and the Waterloo region. Hyperlocal stories that matter to you and your community. All this and more on your region this week. All local, all year round. New episodes every Friday at 7 p.m. right here on Rogers TV.
Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. it's the RTV quiz. Giovanni Petiti hosts a weekly trivia competition that lets you play from the comfort of your couch. Play along at home and challenge your friends. And don't forget to follow along on social media. Let us know who's top of trivia, and you can find yourself featured on a future episode.
Are you kidding me, folks?
The RTV Quiz, Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. on Rogers TV or at rogerstv.com/RTV Quiz.
On the Art Trail with Joanne returns for season 2. We have a terrific lineup coming up for you. We will be interviewing folks like gallery owners, musicians, a theater impresario, a master Japanese calligrapher, and much more. So watch On the Art Trail with Joanne, Saturdays at 7.
Find out what's trending. Join me, Aliyah Ali, as I explore Waterloo Region and beyond, looking for trendy ideas. #Trending, Thursdays at 7 p.m., only on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Alumni Stadium on a Sunday, joined now by Union coach Shane Campbell. Shane, your team came into this game kind of knowing the writing was on the wall, but had a heck of a first half against a really good FC London team. Got out to a lead, fell behind quickly, and now it's 2-1 for FC London, but finishing at 500 is kind of the plan, I'm assuming, for this team coming into this game. What was the focus as a coaching staff to kind of get your players up for this one and show up as they have so far?
Yeah, I think, anytime you're putting the jersey on, you're representing the club and the community, and so you always want to make sure that you're coming out to win a game. And so that was our focus today, was to win the game and to come out and start really strong. And certainly the opening goal and that opening exchange was really well put together. It was a really well-built goal and well taken. So we started really strong, and then that's a talented team on the other side, and they've come back into it and sort of taken over control as the half went on. So the coaching staff will look at a few things, and we'll try and clean up a couple things for the second half.
And one of those things that the coaching staff thought about, I assume, is Daniel Sauvé, the little engine that could, and a spark plug. You know how good Julia Benatti is for FC London, and now Sauvé plays a little further back than she usually does on that wing with Brown up front normally. Was that something that you guys kind of planned out on purpose?
Yeah, we knew that they were going to hold a lot of possession today, and we knew that the exchanges, interchanges that they have amongst themselves is really top class. So ensuring that we had some good stability across the pitch in width, we hopefully would negate some of these opportunities that they have created. So we'll look at that now, and but yeah, Sauvé is one of those really strong defensive-minded players that can deal really well out in the flank, so it was an easy idea.
Yeah, and she's done a fantastic job at least trying to quiet Benatti for FC London so far. Now 2-1 at half, and London has controlled most of the game in terms of possession and pace of play. So what do you like so far in this game from your team, and what do you kind of want to change going forward into the second half?
Well, I think we started the game, we were a little more patient. We moved the ball side to side, and we moved them a little bit, and it opened up spaces to eventually get that first goal. I think as the half wore on, we got a little bit more impatient, and we wanted to go forward a little bit faster maybe than we normally would. So, trying to get the ball side to side, pull them apart a bit, force them to come out of their shape a little bit more is something that we'll look at in the second half. And certainly, trying to get some more numbers up the pitch. I think we have to try and get a few more players forward to force them to have to defend us a bit more. So we'll work on a couple of those things, and I'm sure the staff is doing it right now.
Well, a win to close out the summer would be fantastic. We appreciate your time, Shane. Best of luck in the next 45 minutes, okay?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
And we will take a quick break, and after that, we're back with the second half between Guelph Union and FC London from Alumni Stadium.
No experience required.
You want to follow along exactly what I'm doing? Perfect. If you want to go rogue, do it.
Just grab a paintbrush and join Lisa Braun for On the Canvas.
We're going to be throwing all sorts of color into these.
It's a step-by-step art lesson that will have you painting like a pro.
We're done. That's it. It's such a messy but fun painting. I love the colors in this one so much.
On the Canvas, Mondays at 5:30 p.m. on Rogers TV.
Our world is changing.
Now more than ever, we have seen firsthand the brutality of systematic racism.
Here in Canada, we can do better.
It is time to connect, commit, and change.
I'm Queen.
And I'm Aaliyah Ali, and we're inviting you to join us on Diverse and Converse.
We'll connect you with leaders from the Black, Indigenous, and people of color communities.
Now is the time for change.
Be sure to tune into Candy and Commerce Thursdays at 9 p.m. on Rogers TV, the show dedicated to everything related to food culture, branding, marketing, and you may also see a few taste tests as well. Candy and Commerce Thursdays at 9 p.m. on Rogers TV.
I got a real good feeling.
Get a little messy while having a whole lot of fun. Mindful Makers explores the world around you and inspires you to think outside the box. Join Agnes and her friends as they share crafty projects and talk to local artists. Mindful Makers, Mondays at 6 p.m. on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Alumni Stadium. Union trailing FC London 2-1 at the half. By no fault of Cass Briscoe, who the Union striker knows all about community. She is a part of this team on the sidelines or on the pitch, whether she's playing or watching. She's also very heavily involved in youth soccer here in the Royal City. She spoke to our very own Neil White about what it means to become a coach after being a player for so very long.
Cassandra, thanks for joining me today. Maybe let's start at the beginning. How long have you been playing soccer?
I started playing soccer when I was 3, so a long time ago. I'm almost 28 now, so.
And what was it that made you want to get into coaching now?
Yeah, I had so many good coaches growing up, honestly, and it was just such a good way to stay involved in the game, even when playing got a little bit harder or anything like that. So it's awesome to just come out here and be with the kids and kind of remember what it's like to be in their shoes.
What's the best part about working with younger players?
Well, what's great about Guelph Soccer Club is having that pathway with the Guelph Union. So I think the best part for me this summer has just been seeing them at our Union games. They're always excited. They come up to us after the game. They remember moments of the game, and I think that's a really nice touch kind of with Guelph Soccer.
Yeah, obviously you're on the field with the Guelph Union. So what's it like to get to demonstrate the pathway that's available for these kids?
Yeah, it's awesome because for me, like just seeing kind of the difference that Ontario Soccer has made and having these pathways for women to keep playing after university is huge. Just a couple years ago when I was in these shoes also, I didn't really have that pathway after, so just being able to be a part of it and see it for the girls is pretty awesome.
And what about the pathway to go into coaching for young girls?
Yeah, I think that's awesome too, and that's something that is getting even bigger. There's a lot of pushes for female mentorship within Ontario Soccer as well. So it's a good way for the girls to see that, okay, you know, not every coach is a boy, not every coach is a dad. There's a lot of moms out here, there's women soccer players like me that are getting involved, and it's another pathway that they can get into even if they stop playing.
What's next for you? What are your goals from here?
Just to keep coaching. I have a lot of really good mentors here at Guelph Soccer and with the Union that are kind of putting me on the right pathway to keep coaching. So hopefully I'll just be able to continue with my licensing and learn more about the game and get to keep coaching the youth in the country.
Yeah, I have to ask you about your Union coaches, Onkar Dillon and Shane Campbell. What have you learned from them?
Oh my gosh, how much time is on this video? They've been awesome. I mean, just having Shane around at the field to always bounce ideas, but just their honest push of me to keep coaching and keep putting me in the right positions to actually get to have good experiences on the field, and just their mentorship off the field is just awesome. So being able to go to Union practices and see the sessions that they plan and just how they interact with our team is lessons on its own, but being able to kind of coach and bounce ideas off them as well is huge.
What have been some of the best moments for you this summer working with the younger girls?
Yeah, I think, like I said, seeing them at the games and just being able to interact with them.
It must be something for the kids to get to actually meet
but
union
even,
players,
them coming up to me and
with
saying,
women who they see
I was at
on
the
the
game
field
on the
at Alumni
weekend,
Stadium.
you guys played great, blah, blah, anything like that is really exciting. But with the women's Euros on now and everything like that, there's just so many pathways for women players and young girls that is just awesome to see.
Yeah, it must be something for the kids to get to actually meet union players and interact with women who they see on the field at Alumni Stadium.
Yeah, and I remember as a kid, getting to meet any women's player, meeting with whether it's the Canadian national team or any semi-professional player. It's a big honor, and it's kind of something to look up to. And when you come to training and you get to train with union players, I think that's a huge help too. Being able to see, okay, like they're just like me, they're in the same shoes, and that's something they can do also.
Is it a tough sell for you to get your fellow union players to come out and coach with you?
Never. We always have girls around, especially having our first team, our reserve team. There's a lot of people in the area, and they honestly all love coming out. Seeing the girls at the game and being able to put a name to the faces that we see just makes it a little more special.
That's great to hear. Thanks so much for joining me today to talk about this.
No problem. Thanks a lot.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Weekly in-depth coverage of the most local stories in Stratford Perth, Brantford Brant, Guelph Wellington, and the Waterloo region. Hyperlocal stories that matter to you and your community. All this and more on your region this week. All local, all year round. New episodes every Friday at 7 p.m. right here on Rogers TV.
Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m., it's the RTV quiz. Giovanni Petiti hosts a weekly trivia competition that lets you play from the comfort of your couch. Play along at home and challenge your friends. And don't forget to follow along on social media. Let us know who's top of trivia, and you can find yourself featured on a future episode.
Are you kidding me, folks?
The RTV quiz, Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. on Rogers TV or at rogerstv.com/RTV quiz.
On the Art Trail with Joanne returns for season 2. We have a terrific lineup coming up for you. We will be interviewing folks like gallery owners, musicians, a theater impresario, a master Japanese calligrapher, and much more. So watch On the Art Trail with Joanne, Saturdays at 7.
Find out what's trending. Join me, Aaliyah Ali, as I explore Waterloo region and beyond, looking for trendy ideas. #trending, Thursdays at 7 p.m., only on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Alumni Stadium here in Guelph, Ontario, where the Guelph Union are down 2-1 to FC London as we are moments away from the start of the second half. I'm Jason Hancom alongside Scott Frazier. And Scott, let's take a look at the first half highlights because it was actually the Guelph Union getting on the board first.
Their one and only real opportunity of that first half, coming by way of the head of Olivia Brown, found its way into the FC London goal to give Union that lead as we get another look at Danielle Sauve, who has been probably the most energetic player on the field for Union, makes that play happen. Brown finishes it off to give Union the lead before Julia Benatti started making things happen the other way.
Yeah, Julia Benatti, it was FC London really putting the pressure on. It was finally time for FC London to get their equalizer goal. That was Ali Hicks putting the nice touch on, as we see here from the other angle. Benatti was directing the traffic. Easy redirection there for Ali Hicks to draw us level at 1. And then just before halftime, it was FC London getting themselves the go-ahead goal here on really a nothing play, just a cross that came into the box. No one picked picked up Natalie Abadi, and Abadi puts the head on it to put FC London up 2-1.
Yeah, nothing to play, but not if you ask FC London, who saw it coming all the way and got ahead before the end of the first half, as we are now officially underway here in the final half for Guelph Union's season at Alumni Stadium.
Yeah, here we go. The second half now officially underway, where we'll see what adjustments really both teams have made. I know if you're FC London, you don't need to make too many, but for the Guelph Union, you know they want to make a little bit more. You know, in your interview there with Shane Campbell, she talked about it's maybe a little bit too aggressive, but I think right now you do want to be that a little aggressive, but here trying to push the pace and draw level against this FC London squad.
Yeah, but I do agree with what Shane Campbell said. You can't go for broke in this moment because you do want to finish off strong if you're Union, and you know that there's no love lost depending on any sport between Guelph and London, so they would obviously love to spoil the party for FC London, who have a chance to advance in the table here if they are able to win this afternoon.
And Benatti could not find Gay there, and those two, you can tell they have chemistry, but it just hasn't really clicked here on this afternoon in Guelph, as it'll be a Union throw picked up by the Union's number 12, and that would be Tessa Ledhani. And now Guelph, they're trying to press forward themselves.
Yeah, Ledhani comes into this game as a substitution after the half for Ron Cardillon and Shane Campbell, and she is far and away the quarterback of this midfield for Union, so watch for her to control the ball every time Union possesses it.
Be a throw here for London. There's a body to the other goal scorer for FC London in Ali Hicks. Just good timing here by London, playing keep away, controlling it as they controlled the first half. Did a good job playing keep away from Guelph, and they're right back up to those tricks here early in the second half. But Guelph does a good job, intercepts. Cleared up by London to the likes there of Chelsea Zavitz. And of course, Benatti. Julia Benatti to Tennille Gay. Gay showcasing her nice dribbling skills. Nice feed between the legs for Benatti. Intercepted, though, by Rachel Rosaborough. Still London putting good pressure on. They just can't get that ball near the box of the Guelph Union net. Try to hit a stretch pass out there to Brown, the goal scorer for Guelph.
Yeah, and after that clean, crisp chemistry that we saw from FC London in the first half, don't expect that to stop. They were out at the half during what time is meant for a break, working on more and more things. Even the starters were out there just kind of working on chemistry and getting their things in tune. So don't expect FC London to kind of slow up even a little bit here in the second 45 minutes.
No, and you know that FC London, their team of coach there, Garrett Peters, they want to close strong. As we keep talking about FC London, they've got themselves a playoff spot, and you don't want to just have that little lapse before heading to the playoffs. You want to finish strong, as here's a good opportunity coming for London with Gay crossing that one in, but good job there by Brenneman to just get the hands on it and deny that crossing attempt.
Yeah, and FC London sitting in fourth coming into this game, but could, depending on what Woodbridge does, could jump up into third. Regardless, they will play in the first round. 1 and 2 do get a bye. 3 host 6, 4 host 5. So FC London knows they won't get a bye, and they know they will have home field advantage in that first round, but still would like to get the easier matchup with being a 3 versus 6 rather than a 4 versus 5, depending on what North Toronto, Alliance, and Electric City end up doing.
As you see there, we got our graphic of the teams that have qualified. Obviously, Vaughan Azzurri, NDC Ontario, Woodbridge Strikers, the aforementioned FC London, who are in front of us right now, and the Simcoe County Rovers all have qualified. And points are tight. Look at there, FC London and Simcoe tied with 38, and obviously London would love to pick up some more points to solidify it and potentially move up, as well as you said, Scott, what Woodbridge does as well. So there's a lot of intrigue here from that 3 to 5 spot, but London, what they can focus on is control themselves, and right now looking good as we enter the 51st minute.
Yeah, and a three-way battle for that 6th and final playoff spot as we see so many teams just a point away from either making the postseason or going home early. And unfortunately for Union, not visible on that graphic because they are well behind and out of it at this point in time, but still a lot of fight left in them here into the 51st minute.
The Union trying to get something going here. We had that good moment early in the first half and had some moments and can try to build off that, and getting possession is key. They've really struggled at that overall, and they'll get the pass here to their keeper, Brenneman.
And Brenneman shows that long leg that she has, trying to find Ladani, who's come into this game, and just off the mark as it, I believe, did go off an FC London defender, and Cass Briscoe. Jasmine Burke rather does throw it in, and
that was intercepted by Benatti, and Benatti got a head of steam going here for FC London. Good patience by Jasmine Burke in the defensive position to break that up, but London still putting the pressure on here with Chelsea Zavitz. They get it back here for Zavitz to FC London, pushing it back. That was a good one-on-one play by Burke, stopping the hottest player on the field here in Benatti. Now Gay gets it in for a body. Brown for Guelph. And they'll just pass this back and settle things down, will the Union, as they try to push it up here with their keeper in Brenneman.
Brenneman with that long boot again, finds Brown, who goes back-footed to Briscoe, and Briscoe tried to find Ladani, who was thinking about goal right about then.
Well, here is Cassandra Briscoe. She's building up a head of steam. Nice ball in for Brown, but couldn't get the touch on it. And will roll clean over the line for a goal kick. But you like to see that from Guelph. Briscoe, she's been very aggressive, trying to win some possessions and really start something for Guelph.
And she just about did it there, but just beyond the reach of Olivia Brown.
Yeah, Olivia Brown just couldn't get the touch on it and rolled out for the goal kick from FC London. And now London back with it, as they do such a good job of moving the ball here. That's Megan Scott. As we talked about, their chemistry is very key. Nice boot up that time by Rachel Roseborough. Off here for a body. A body tried to make the cross, but getting back was the likes of her number 5 again, Laura Morelli. Laura Morelli's made 2 great defensive plays in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, a bit of a battle there for the ball, and it ends up being a foul called on FC London, as I believe that was actually Alyssa Hodgson who got into it there and was able to draw the foul. No booking, but a free kick for Brenneman and Union, who go all the way downfield and beyond FC London's goal, but not before it touched a London player, so a corner kick.
Yeah, it'll be a corner kick here for the Guelph Union, their first of the game, coming here as we get things going about 10 minutes in to the second half.
Justine Rodriguez will do the honors.
Rodriguez puts the boot in, trying to get the header on it, and loose ball, still with it, and cleared away by the FC London.
And Brenneman way out of her goal, and the whistle is blown.
And we got a couple injured players down in the FC London box.
Chaos in that box as that cross from Rodriguez came in from the corner, and we'll get another look at it here, and no wonder to why some players are still down in some discomfort, as many of them came together from opposite sides, and hopefully no worse for wear, as Olivia Brown is in some serious discomfort, and it looks to be the left leg, mostly likely the left knee of the Guelph striker and goal scorer.
Yeah, there's didn't pick up a number on the injured player.
I believe I made a mistake. I think that is Alyssa Hodgson. My mistake, as Brown is on the sideline with her teammates.
Yeah, getting worked at is Hodgson by the trainer, as she went in aggressively sliding, trying to pick up that loose ball and put it in the back of the net. And yeah, it looks like it's her knee that is getting worked at, and those are always dangerous areas for an injury. You always hate to see them. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, more of a contusion than something internal.
And hopefully exactly that, maybe a bone bruise and nothing on the back of the knee, as we get another look at the cross from Rodriguez from the corner kick, and still can't quite get a clean glimpse of where the collision happened with Hodgson. But again, hoping that as she makes her way back to her feet that she is no worse for the wear.
Yeah, that was Alyssa Hodgson, number 16, who was our player to watch for the Guelph Union, and she's got a cool towel on the back of her neck, as it is a humid one as well. We've talked about the wind, but can't forget about that heat. It is late July here in Guelph. The weather is very hot, so that doesn't help as well. And the playing surface here, not a good thing. And yeah, that's not a good sign, getting helped off by her teammate there, and Justine Rodriguez, and the trainer here for the Union.
As our broadcast booth kind of gets a feeling of the wind above us, and well strapped down and in no concern of going just about anywhere, but that wind is doing its best to change that, as Hodgson is helped off the field, and obviously her season and afternoon are likely over.
Yeah, you don't want to risk anything, and obviously she's got a long career still ahead of her, but not a good sign, and for someone who's been such a big benefactor for Guelph this season and had the right idea in mind, unfortunately just end up coming up banged up and gets the help off. So coming in now will be number 14 in Catherine Knaflick.
Yeah, just something you hate to see to finish the season off for one of the mainstays of the final line of defense for Guelph Union, as we're back underway.
Well, here's Olivia Brown trying to get something going here for the Union, but pass out of play, and the attempt there to Lanahany. So it'll be a London throw. As getting it up here for a body, but out of play, and will be a Guelph throw. As we're approaching now the 59th minute.
And then Tesla Donnie's throw goes for naught, but does come back off of a teammate and out of play, so it will be an FC London throw. About 30 yards away from Elizabeth Brenneman.
So there's the throw in. Good work from Benatti. But Guelph defensively, they've showed up nicely as well. Not only just Brenneman being the last line of defense, but they've made some good plays disrupting FC London, and that turns out to a good counterattack here for the Union. Try to get it in for Olivia Brown, but the last moment the FC London do end up clearing, and out of play will be Union ball for the throw-in. So there is the throw-in completed. Aggressiveness and a free kick coming up here for Guelph.
Yeah, Knaflick took the worst end of that collision, and no hesitation on the whistle, no card or booking to make note of, but a good opportunity for a free kick from Guelph Union. I believe it'll be Jasmine Burke on the far side that takes it, or with about 5 or 6 different Union players pushing forward after the kick.
Big kick forward, and trying to get the header on that one was Mazur. Couldn't do it, but that ball did carry. That's where, once again, Guelph's been a little bit snake bitten. Every time they are on the pitch, the wind has changed direction. They're now once again playing into the wind like they were in the first half, as London will control this. Good movement by London as Rosaborough gets it.
No panic, and just a whole heap of confidence from that London FC team that has just kind of played pitch and catch even in their own box here in the second half with just a 1-goal lead, but no fear of turning it over here.
No, none whatsoever. They always find the open space, move the ball very well. Either to the keeper, back to Steinhauer, and then the defenders eventually move it up to the midfield, as that's what they're trying to do here with Roseboro. Now to the goal scorer that got FC London up ahead, and Natalie Abadi. Now to Roseboro. Out of play, though, will be Guelph ball for a throw-in. And Guelph, they've now had some chances here. Briscoe. Well, that's going to be intercepted here as Benatti out has some space to operate, looking for some support, and she'll just do it herself. Nice pass to Gay.
Yeah, Briscoe just trying to do a little too much there, going northbound, tries to turn back with her momentum going towards the FC London goal, and a back-footed errant pass was picked off by Benatti and went the other way.
It was a good attempt, but last touch wasn't what FC London wanted, as Brenneman scooped up that loose ball and got Guelph back getting a possession. But once again, just they can't, we're talking about FC London being so in sync with each other, just a little out of sync here this afternoon for the Union.
Yeah, and I think that comes from what FC London is forcing them to do, and just being in good position, not only just offensively, but on the other side of the ball as well, and forcing Union just to make those passes a little bit quicker and a little bit off the mark so far here into the 62nd minute.
It's going to be another London throw. That ball went off the foot of a Guelph player. So Roseboro will do the honors. And easy to be cleared here for Guelph, but London, they're moving slowly down the wing here and getting the helps of the throws. So we'll see what they can do here with Roseboro. Throw comes in a little high, but right here to Benatti, who will turn reverse field and find an open player there in the likes of McKenzie. Shot was deflected and now cleared, and Guelph trying to get a good counterattack being developed. Union, nice feed. Here's Brown, but little too much on it, couldn't connect cleanly. Out of play will be a FC London throw.
And yet again, Justine Rodriguez just forced to make that play a little too quickly before she was ready to by the pressure of FC London, and goes out of play and now back down to Elizabeth Brenneman, who goes off the foot into the hands and will take her time.
Yeah, and when now Guelph once again finding themselves in the same problems they found in the first half, as Shane Campbell said, being a little too aggressive and nearly bit them there, as Benatti nearly had a one-on-one scenario with the keeper in Brenneman. Good job by Guelph to clear. So go out and be Guelph ball for a throw. Actually, will be still London ball, excuse me. And London, they will intercept here, but Guelph will get it back.
And then Rodriguez again after Roseboro turned it over. And Sauvé with a real good chance here as Guelph is pressing all of a sudden in the 64th.
Sauvé again with it. Feeds it there for Burke. Burke on the far side to the likes there.
Tesla Donnie was the one who was the intended target, but wore it off the shoulder and put it out of play. And that is yet another throw for FC London here.
Yeah, another throw for London. And in a way, I mean, obviously, FC London, they want to keep pushing the pace, and that's exactly what they'll do. I wouldn't say they've taken their foot off the gas, but getting those turnovers, winning the possessions, and really just playing keep away, that just works for them right now. They have that go-ahead goal. They're playing solidly defensively. You don't want to sit back, especially with the playoffs on the horizon, but this kind of fits their style right now.
Just trying to chew up the clock a little bit, and to your point, exemplified when they were in their own box and kind of just had every player touch it multiple times with no panic whatsoever to be shown by FC London. And yeah, you just want to make sure those good habits continue to be instilled for London as they are well on their way to the postseason and look like they are ready and primed to go on a long run.
We'll have a substitution here for FC London as coming on will be number 21 in Robin Scott. She'll come on here for number 13, Rachel Roseborough.
And Roseborough was actually supposed to take that throw, but Scott came in and took the ball away and handed over that penny that the reserve players do wear on the sidelines, just so there's no confusion. So a quick substitution for FC London.
Oh, Briscoe got it out here for Savoy. Trying to get it back for her, but good work by London, and Guelph will at least get the possession back. They regroup in their own end.
Yeah, Rodriguez took quite a bit of contact on the far side and kind of kicked the ball back at the London FC player that I couldn't quite make the number out on. It actually did end up being Avery Thomas who was the aggressor on that play, but no whistle, and kind of just a frustration play from Justine Rodriguez on that one. And again, FC London playing keep away about 10 yards away from their own box. And Sauve and Briscoe.
Oh, nearly intercepted there by Sauve as she tried to make something happen. She was tired of London playing keep away and being aggressive there, and that was a good kind of aggressiveness. Nearly caused a panic for FC London. But now Guelph, they've gained themselves more possessions here in the second half. Have to feed that one back towards Brenneman.
But still no real chance in on Jaden Steinauer since that Olivia Brown marker in the first half for Guelph United, who, yes, have they possessed the ball more in the second half? Absolutely. Have they created any more chances? Maybe not.
Still trying to find their way through, obviously, but hey, getting more possessions is a start of something. You can't put the ball in the back of the net unless you own the ball, have that possession. But as I say that, now it'll be a throw in here for FC London.
And as you mentioned, Jason, in this game that Union knows what tomorrow brings, but it's very impressive to see Ongar Dillon's team continue to work away, and it's a frustrating team to play when it's FC London in town, who possess the ball and kind of kill you by way of death by 1,000 paper cuts. Yeah. And there's no quit in Union, and in a game that it won't come easy, it's very, very impressive to see, and a well-deployed unit from Ongar Dillon and Shane Campbell here in the finale of their season.
Very interested to see when or if Guelph wants to put those substitutions in, because as we talked about before, obviously Guelph, this is their final game of the season. They're not going to make the playoffs, but you want to evaluate some talent as well. And as we're approaching the 70th minute, you want to give them maybe around 20 minutes to play with, where you can get at least a decent amount of value. So I'll be interested to see when Guelph, or if Guelph even puts the substitutions in, as we are approaching that 70-minute mark.
Yeah, and two of those players that didn't start today for Union are Julie Karn and AC Lang, two of the upperclassmen, if you will, for this team, and leaders, especially in the locker room. So I think it likely for those two players specifically would be up to them whether they want to get back into the game. But knowing them, they do like to kind of delegate and say, you know what, we've had our moment. We don't need any more touches here to finish off the season. It's not about getting our reps in. It's about letting the younger players kind of do that. And I think Ongar Dillon and Shane Campbell will let Karn and Lang and the other players on the sideline make that call for themselves at this point.
Well, as we're approaching 20 or 70 minutes left here, at the 70-minute mark, I should say, it's London getting a good chance. There's Gay with the cross, but that sails over everything. And we shall wait and see what ends up happening with substitutions. London's made one for them, bringing in Robin Scott, another defender as well. So you kind of sense what London wants to do, just get the right defenders on those fresh legs to close this one out.
As Alyssa Hodgson is still on that trainer's table getting worked on, and that knee being iced. That's the left knee of the Guelph defender. So hopefully nothing too serious, and something that'll be easily healed by the time Union hit the pitch again next summer.
That's crazy to say, too, next summer. How fast this season has come and gone by. Lots of nice pieces as well on this Guelph team. to evaluate and, look forward for it next season. This is a team that, as we talked about, if they can win today, they'll finish at 500, and that's nothing to sneeze at with a league with some very talented teams, as that feed for Scott was a little too much on it, as the wind is really picking up now, Scott.
And our booth is about to take a hike, I think, as it's getting some hang time, even with the sandbags and everything else holding it down. Fantastic job done by our production crew to make sure that we are nice and shaded from the sun and the wind here.
Yes, as always, thanks to our great Rogers TV crew. They always do a fantastic job, not only getting everything all set up, but get some great action shots and great coverage here, so you, the viewer at home, can enjoy this Guelph Union game here on a Sunday afternoon. And once again, I'm Jason Hagum alongside Scott Fraser here at Alumni Stadium in Guelph, where FC London is up 2-1 on the Guelph Union.
And we'll see how much of this game is now played at midfield, as it seems to be the theme of late, where it's just FC London, again, not afraid to kind of play pitch and catch in their own box with Steinauer, very confident, but in midfield is where he can really get a logjam going, and see how much of this game is now, with just 19 minutes left to go, played in that mid-zone.
Benatti's pass was broken up, and now here's Guelph trying to get something going, but once again, just can't connect. Chemistry has just been a little lackadaisical, and maybe it's just from not having as much possessions early on in this game, and you can't find that rhythm, and Guelph's trying to do that, but right now it's the defensive settings as well from London made it a little bit difficult. And
evidently right there, Ladani and Briscoe on completely different pages, maybe reading different books, as Ladani was giving her a lead pass and Briscoe pulled up, and that ball went out of play for a London throw.
Brenneman will get the feed, or goal, or clearing attempt, and nearly turned over. That could have been a disastrous situation with Shanae Bauer on foot, but here's Guelph trying to make something happen out of nothing. Brown the drive, and it's in the back of the net. The second of the game for Olivia Brown, and London made a mess of that defensively, and Brown capitalizes. It's 2-2 here in the 73rd minute.
And Jasmine Burke and Elizabeth Brenneman just hugged each other, probably harder than I've ever seen a teammate hug another teammate in a game like this, and lots of elation happening here. And as you said, Jason, Guelph almost made a mess of it, but all of a sudden made it a dog's breakfast down in the London end, and Olivia Brown got her second marker of this match in the 73rd minute, to draw Union level with London in this game.
Well, that is a huge goal, as it now changes the dynamic of how London wants to play. He felt London maybe took their foot back a little bit, were very content being up 2-1, probably didn't feel Guelph could really put any shots on other than the one that they put on the first Brown goal in the 11th minute. But now you would think London's going to put that pressure back on, and we'll see how Guelph can handle that, because a 2-2 tie here against FC London, that's a feather in the cap of this Union squad.
And we'll probably see a lot of Julia Benatti for London, kind of directing traffic and manning the ball in the final few minutes of this match.
Yeah, I would expect London to find the form we saw in that first half, where it was Benatti directing traffic and everyone stepping up.
And again, don't forget, we've kind of underplayed this card, but London, or FC London, with a win in this game, have a chance to jump up in the standings. So this is not meaningless for them. They don't want to draw, because that does nothing for them. A win gives them their best chance to jump up in the table and take that number 3 spot.
Well, London's going to try to make something happen here, but that's going to go out of play, as it'll be a goal kick for Guelph. But yeah, as we look at that attempt of the goal, as that gets set up here by our Rogers crew. But yeah, that's a big factor too, because we talked about it's a 3-way log jam from 3 through 5 in the League One standings here, where London knows a win is important.
As Julie Card and AC Lang now call their own number and enter this game as substitutions for Union, as we get another look at that Brown marker, the second of the game for the Guelph striker. But now the veterans into the midfield, who really, just like Julie Benatti, kind of control the pace of play for Union. And Karn and AC Lang are fantastic veterans and well seasoned. So don't go anywhere, folks. Guelph might play spoiler here in a game that looked like it might have been over at half, but
that's why they play the games, because you never know what you can think can happen, and in the game of soccer, anything can happen at any time. And as you said, now with the veterans here, with Karn coming on as well, Guelph trying to get that go-ahead goal and get the lead back that they captured at the 11th minute here late in the second half.
And the culture of this team will definitely be affected by the outcome of this game. So as we kind of downplayed the meaninglessness of this outcome for Union, now all of a sudden the complexion of it has changed completely.
And plus, what a way to end your season if you can come away and get that extra goal here to come away with a win. It's a good building block for summer 2023.
Exactly, and again, back to that embrace that Birkin Brenneman had as Brown scored her second of the game. It just kind of showed the emotion and energy that this whole team has into this game. So very bright things to see if you're a Union supporter here to close out this summer.
Brown's pass was broken up. A good clearing attempt there by Guelph. So they'll put that all the way down. It'll be a London throw. But, you know, the complexities we talked about, it has changed here. And obviously we don't know the other results going on right now. As we talked about, there's a handful of games here on the final day of the regular season in League One. So I'm sure if London has a way to scoreboard watch, they definitely are right now, knowing, you know, the next 10 minutes or so are crucial for where they're going to be seated in the postseason.
I think the plan coming into this game for FC London was, let's just win, get the 3 points, and then let everything else that's out of our control happen and unfold the way it does. But don't let these 3 points slip away. And right now, Union ready to spoil the party for their 401 rivals.
You know, 1 point apiece would not be ideal for London. It'd be in some way, I guess, ideal for Guelph, depending how the rest of the season would fall for those mid-tier teams that are going to have to watch the postseason. But picking up a point, especially how this game has gone, I mean, we were almost willing to write off this Guelph team, but that's why they play the games, as they say, and anything can happen. And still tons of time for something to happen here, as Guelph will make a quick throw. That was done there by Yantha.
Hannah Yantha also coming into this game, so a quick substitution that kind of, I think, flew over the heads of myself and Jason Hagholm as we were kind of getting caught up in the moment there, Jason.
Yeah, we definitely were, but here's Briscoe. Nice little head of steam. Briscoe trying to find Brown. Brown, can she get the touch? And she can, but what a save made by Steinhauer. The first real save Steinhauer's had to make in this game, and she comes up with a huge one, and Brown limping a little bit.
And that looked like it was turning into nothing, and Briscoe makes a great lead pass for Brown and a great follow by our camera crew to get the eyes on it. As again, it was something out of nothing, and Brown went down after the contact, and unfortunately still not standing up on her own. And it looks like Guelph's only goal scorer of this game is likely also done.
Not sure if it's as much of an injury. Obviously there is some discomfort, but yeah, the trainer out there looking at the ankle, as she did run into Steinhauer on the collision there where she got the shot off. So hopefully nothing too serious where she can come on through, because she's been such a big piece. Obviously scoring both the goals has been huge, but an extra set of hands is going to come on here for Brown, and that's not a good sign here as we hit the 80th minute.
No, it's a real turning of the tide. Olivia Brown looking for her third goal of the game, and now all of a sudden stopped by Steinhauer and collides, and cut to her being helped off the pitch. And much like Hodgson, in a severe amount of discomfort as she does so. So we get another look from the lead ball from Briscoe that Brown was just ever so close to finishing off, and Steinauer came out and read it, and obviously no intention, really no fault of Steinauer on that one, as she just went all ball and Brown didn't see how aggressive the goalkeeper of FC London was playing, and now is on the sidelines and getting tended to.
So as we hit the 81st minute, we shall see what does happen. Who will step up for Guelph if they want to get that late go-ahead goal for them? Brown's been huge, and as you said as well, definitely nothing where a card needed to be drawn, as that ball was out of the crease area and Steinauer was playing to be aggressive, so it's each player having their right to it. It's just unfortunate with the collision and the injury.
And Josie Morgan will come in as a replacement for Olivia Brown for Union, so another young player getting some playing time here with a real chance to make an impression to close out the season.
And Brenneman just comes in and covers up that loose ball. Doesn't want to have any chances or anything disastrous happen in the box.
No quit in Betty Brenneman right now, and she has really, really, really been the heartbeat of this Union team in this game so far, and a real reason why is we get a real good catch by someone on the London sideline. It's just outside of the frame of the camera, but Morgan possesses and goes back to Rodriguez.
Morgan for Rodriguez. Now, Savoy now back for Rodriguez. Rodriguez trying to get some space being developed. Savoy now back for number 5, that's Laura Morelli. As Guelph trying to really put the pressure on. I wonder if we're still deadlocked at 2, if we even see Brenneman even come up at some point, because what do you got to lose, right?
There is no tomorrow for Guelph Union, and imagine that story, not to jinx it or kind of take away from it, but if Brenneman does end up pushing up, and whoa, as we get a big gust of wind here.
Yeah, a huge gust of wind that has lifted our tent up at one point. But we'll see what does happen. We're in the frantic final minutes here at Alumni Stadium in Guelph, approaching the 83rd. Guelph gets the ball up, but can they win it back? They will not. It's going to be a London throw, dealt with here by Robin Scott.
And the gustiest of gusts of wind come in and cutting across Alumni Stadium here to close out those frantic final minutes, excuse me.
Oh, Briscoe putting some good pressure on. She felt she was interfered with. Briscoe tries to make a play at Steinauer, but Guelph still ends up with the ball, but only for a split time. Now it comes back for Guelph as Abadi, who got the second goal for London in this game. That'll roll out and it will be London ball. London will flip it up here, and Scott will do the honors of the throw. Ball bouncing around like a ping pong ball, and once again it'll be an FC London throw.
And it'd be tough to assume that this game does end in a draw, but almost what both teams have played out to be, because both of them deserve to win. The resilience of Guelph Union and just the dominance of FC London in this game have been fantastic, and a 2-2 draw is obviously not what either team would really like to finish off their regular season schedule with, but again, one team getting it done by consistency and the other one kind of just throwing daggers when they're not expected.
Well, Benatti was double teamed there, so she had to revert back towards her end of the field as they try to get in for Abadi. Off there for Bauer. Bauer the cross, and that goes off the body there of Julie Karn.
Yeah, Karn did a great job to read that play on Bauer and get in the way, but it'll be yet another corner kick for FC London and Julia Benatti, and perhaps here now into the 86th minute.
Yeah, this is a huge set piece coming up for FC London with Benatti doing the honors.
And a bit of tomfoolery there as another London or FC London player came over, and that was Alicia Dominguez, who now makes her way back towards Benatti.
Benatti gets the cross in, it sails, and it hits the field goal uprights at Alumni Stadium, so will be Guelph ball. And Benatti, she had the right idea, just couldn't get the right touch on it at the last moment there. And that's about the third time FC London's hit the field goal uprights here this afternoon.
We call that the triple doink. And yeah, Benatti just kind of a victim of the gust of wind and unable to time it and get the placement right on that cross. And Brenneman does a good job to get the ball upfield, and Union looking to take the lead again for the second time in this match.
Yeah, Union, as you see there, 6-1 over the corner kicks here this afternoon at Alumni Field, but now it's London kind of finding that form that we saw in the first half as they try to get a late winner. Both teams are trying to get that late winner, but London pressing forward.
And you mentioned it a few minutes ago. Would it be weird if Elizabeth Brenneman pushed up to try to break this deadlock? Would it be weird to see Jaden Steinauer push up to break this deadlock and give London that extra 2 points?
I don't think it would be, because those points are huge for London. As we talked about, there's a difference between being a 3 versus 6 and a 4 versus 5, and who you're playing and what maybe set up how your postseason will go.
It can really change what happens to your team in the playoffs. And yeah, no, absolutely. I think there's zero hesitation if you're FC London to push Steinauer up, as we are now into the 88th minute.
Yeah, very interesting to see what happens. Obviously, you maybe want a set piece or something to push both keepers up, but the way this game's gone, it's been a very clean game, back and forth with the possessions, no real whistles, no attempts at cards or anything like that. So
yeah, the added time will be very, very interesting to see, Jason.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see that as well. What is added with another goal kick coming up here for Brenneman?
Yeah, very, very clean, as you just said. It's been fairly quick and a very, very few amount of whistles, and even with the throws and the corners that FC London have controlled, it hasn't been. The ball has been in play for the vast majority of the 88 minutes now.
As Guelph tries to press up, it's going to be London that picks up the ball here with Bubnick, Taylor Bubnick. Now they get it off to Shanae Bauer. Picked up by Benatti. Benatti the cross in and cleared away by Guelph.
Benatti was looking to make something happen there, and everyone, including Elizabeth Brenneman and Jasmine Burke and the rest of the Union players, were rushing back, knowing that that might have been Benatti's moment. But now she'll get a second chance as she takes yet the 7th corner.
7th corner here this afternoon at Alumni Stadium for the FC London. Corner is in, head is on it, and it goes over the bar. But that's really been the best corner here this afternoon for FC London. A lot of them have missed targets or at the top of the field goal uprights. That was the cleanest one they've had. Unfortunately for FC London, it sailed over the bar.
As Benatti, yeah, yet again, I mean, it's just almost automatic from the FC London captain to make something happen from those or corner kicks rather, and for the 7th time it just doesn't quite pan out the way that London was hoping.
London with another throw. Picked up here by Benatti. You're in battle, but it'll be a London throw yet again. So we're approaching the 90th minute here. Should wait and see what extra time is added, but Guelph, they're not worried about that. They're trying to get a real late winner, but just the pass can't be completed cleanly, and it'll be a London ball for another throw. Quick one for Benatti as FC London gets this up. Back there for Scott. Scott to Benatti. Benatti taken down. Real contact. 4 minutes of added time is what the minimum will be. Obviously, that depends if we get an injury as well for more time. But 4 minutes added time here in the final regular season game for the Guelph Union. Benatti. Double team, nice dribbling from Benatti. Now a sea of open space for her as Benatti makes the feed off to Scott. Back to Benatti. Benatti dribbling in, and we're going to get a penalty.
That'll be a penalty kick for Julia Benatti in extra time, and as you mentioned, Jason, she just turned it on. The minute that it was a 4-minute announcement for added time, Julia Benatti seemed to find a 7th or 8th gear, and she goes down after a late tackle that, again, not overly aggressive, yet the footwork of Julia Benatti gets her all the way inside the box, and now she has a golden opportunity to give London that lead and give themselves the best chance at finishing third here, depending on what her and Elizabeth Brenneman have in store for one another.
So Benatti trying to just set the ball up where she wants it. We have a golden goal scenario coming up for FC London here in the 92nd minute. Benatti the shot, and she buries it. Goes opposite side on Brenneman, and it makes this one 3-2 for FC London.
Not even close to any mistake from Benatti, as she had Brenneman sold going to her right side and kind of made a slight hesitation, held up, Brenneman bit, Benatti finished.
Fantastic finish there from Julia Benatti. Had ice water in her veins, and as the saying goes, big time players make big time plays in big time games, and that's Benatti getting from the spot the goal that should hopefully push up FC London to third place here in League One. And now London, they just have about three or 2 minutes left to just close things out, and there we see Brenneman kind of coming up. Brenneman pushing up. Guelph trying to get another late equalizer. Ball bounces away from Karn. Will roll out for a Guelph throw. Off to Brenneman. Got as we hit the 93rd minute. Guelph trying to press. Nice work taken down is the Union player. And we're going to get a yellow card against number 3 for FC London. That's Alicia Dominguez. So she will be booked as she took down Guelph's number 14, Catherine Knafleck. So a free kick coming up here for the Union, and can they make something happen here and get a late equalizer? There's the chip shot in, ball hops up, bouncing around. Can the Union get a shot off? No. Cleared. Karn, that's a pop fly. Ball gets cleared here by London. That'll roll out for a throw for Guelph. Julia Karn wants to take this quickly as we are approaching the final minute here of extra time. Karn, nice job to stop on a dime. Karn pushing the pressure up. Now back for Karn. Karn, nice feed, nice spin move from Josie Morgan as they had the player in Savoy open on the wing, but London broke it up. Cleared out by FC London. Now trying to get something going here is Rodriguez. But that's into the feet, and that's the final whistle as FC London, with a late penalty goal from Julia Benatti, gives themselves a 3-2 lead over the Guelph Union. FC London picks up the 3 points, and we'll wait and see where they finish, because now they can finish as high as third here in League One Ontario. What a heck of a game we had here this afternoon, where it looked like FC London was going to be in the driver's seat, but credit to the Guelph Union. They were able to battle, get the opening goal of the game from the likes of Olivia Brown, and then she got one late in the second half, but it was, we said, the aforementioned Julia Benatti that got the game-winning goal in added time to get FC London the 3-2 victory over the Guelph Union. So some good building blocks for FC London as they head to the postseason and really show just how, a good of a team they are, and they're able to get the benefit of having a player as talented as Benatti. She got brought down in the box, she capitalized, and that is how we will end things up here. And for the Guelph Union, look, I think they show that they are a really skilled team. They have some potential, but they definitely will. We're faced with some injuries as well, especially losing Olivia Brown, your 2 goal scorer, so we shall see where things go. But it's a year to look ahead for the Guelph Union, and for FC London, they got a little bit more time as they're looking to win that League One championship here as the postseason is about to begin very shortly, next week I should say. And as well for FC London, they got to check how things go with watching the scoreboards. And as well, don't forget, we have more Guelph United soccer. This is the men's side of things. That's Friday, August 12th at 8 p.m. right here from Alumni Stadium on Rogers TV. You definitely want to see, don't want to miss this one, as the men, they take on Derby FC in a very important matchup of their own in just a few weeks' time right here on Rogers TV. And it looks like we will soon be sending it down to Scott Fraser, but as we await to wrap up here from Alumni Stadium, Guelph, it was fun to see this level of soccer as soccer continues to grow in the country, especially at the women's level. And Guelph Union, they unfortunately fall short to FC London, but let's throw it down to pitch side with our Scott Fraser.
Thanks, Jason. Joined by the player of the match, Julia Benatti. You have ice in your veins. The 92nd minute, you seem to find in 7th or 8th gear as we sat upstairs in the booth and kind of really turned it on. Found a way to get into the box, got a penalty kick, and made no mistake. What was going through your mind in that moment?
For us, this was honestly a must-win game. It was an important game to get our momentum back. We came off of 2 tough losses, and for us, this win was a home playoff match, and there's nothing like playing at home.
What's your favorite color, Gatorade? And with that, we will shut it down as the rain is coming. Julia Benatti, the player of the match with a game-winning goal, and a bit of an ice bath for the ice water in her veins. Thank you so much for joining us on behalf of Jason Haghold and everyone else here at Rogers TV. I'm Scott Fraser. Thanks, saying thank you and good night.
call the Rogers TV viewer response line. Email us or connect with us on social media.
Hello and welcome to your region this week. I'm Anandi Carol Woolery. Horse racing is in full swing this summer. Fans of the sport are getting the chance to meet a popular racing team this weekend. Carla Fitzsimmons had the opportunity to spend some time with driver Trevor Henry and his horse, Desperate Man.
This is Canada's reigning Horse of the Year, Desperate Man. And he's with one of Canada's top harness racing drivers, Trevor Henry. Both from Arthur, Ontario, and both will be celebrated at Hanover Raceway on Saturday, July 23rd. This winning combination captured the North American Cup in 2021.
Bulldog Hanover coming into the stretch. Perfect sting from first over. Rocky Road Hanover in the pocket spot. Still there at the rail is Bulldog Hanover. Perfect sting. Off cutter, Desperate Man. And it's Desperate Man pacing up late for Henry coming on. Desperate Man on the far outside. Desperate Man. There's no desperation in those strides. He's a Pepsi North America Cup winner. And he scores in 1:49.3. Desperate Man.
Trevor Henry has been driving standardbred horses for more than 30 years and has the most driving wins in the history of the racetrack. He grew up in a harness racing family. His dad, Ross, was a well-known horseman who at one time had about 70 horses in his stable.
Back in that time, there was a lot of Orbel GGs, and they were good gaited horses, and my dad owned the stud with another guy, and we raced a lot of them. And we trained just mostly trotters, and that was how I got my start in the sire stakes, was because, you know, he had the horses, and I went along with them and drove them when I got started when I was 18, and that more or less got me started.
One of Henry's earliest successes was with a horse named Ham's Delight. He, along with a business partner, bought the mare for $4,000.
She turned out to be a really nice mare for me, and we raced her in the sire stakes. I forget, she made a few $100,000, and then I sold her to Norway. But yeah, she was a nice mare.
Over the years, Henry has paid his dues on the B-track circuit and became one of the most dominant drivers at tracks like Elmira, Grand River, Western Fair, Clinton, and Hanover Raceway, where he has won 10 driving titles. In 2013, Henry donned the red and white colors to represent Canada at the World Harness Driving Championship in France. With more than 7,200 career wins, none bigger than winning the North America Cup with Desperate Man. Henry was part of selecting the horse at a sale on behalf of its owners, the Chickens and Davies families.
As a yearling, you seen him the whole way through. It was quite an experience to go like from the horse right from the start, you know, to the finishing product. It was quite a thing.
Henry's had an impressive driving career, but still has a few top races to win, the Dream of Glory Final and the Hamiltonian.
My daughter keeps reminding me I've never won the Dream of Glory, so we got a couple horses this year that look all right, and they're eligible for it, and I think they have shots, so I'm hoping for it. I don't have anything this year, not really even close for the Hambletonian. I've been in it a few times, but it is a race I'd love to win.
And if you've ever wondered what a race like that might be like to be in,
It's a lot of fun. It's a great experience to just be there and see the crowd and everything, and it was a lot of fun.
As a driver, what's your favorite part about being a driver? Is it the competitive edge? Is it?
It's being competitive, I guess, and being a driver. You're out there and you make your own decisions. People can tell you what to do before the races and all that, but once really you get behind the gate, it all changes because you don't know what anybody else is doing, and it's kind of, you're in control of everything.
When you're prepping for a big race, like any of the big races that you've driven in, whether it was in France or the Pepsi Cup or whatever, what goes through your mind? Do you clear your mind? How do you, what's your preparation to go into that? Is there anything you're thinking about?
I try not to think of it at all. I try to keep my mind blank, not even think about anything about the race. So, I'm actually going out there. And then when I'm on the track, it's game on. You don't really, I never think of anything. Just do your job, and it should come natural. I've been at it this long, I should know what to do.
for horse racing fans looking to meet Trevor Henry and Desperate Man, they'll be at Hanover Raceway this Saturday. Carla Fitzsimmons, Your Region This Week, Arthur.
Your Region This Week. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay tuned.
On Diverse and Converse, we want to help you connect, commit, and change.
We'll connect you with leaders from the Black, Indigenous, and people of color communities.
We'll show you practical anti-racism steps.
And together, we can change the world.
Smudging is a very important part in our life as we're all learning to walk the good way. When we smudge, we use the sacred medicine. The white sage, the sweetgrass, the tobacco, and the cedar. It cleanses negative energy and replaces it by a positive energy. When I smudge, I cleanse my N and my eagle feather and start cleansing my breath to have better words. I will smudge my eyes so I could see the better things offered to me. I will smudge my ears to hear the good thing that people have to say. I will smudge my hair to have good thinking from my head. I will bring the smudge to my feet so I could walk in respect with our Mother, the Earth. Smudging is the way we give our prayers to connect our spirit to the Creator. We express gratitude for the gift of life, the learning, and growth.
Welcome back. Residents of Cambridge will soon have access to more family doctors and specialists in West Galt. Renovations are currently underway at the former Galt Medical Center at George and Park Hill. Now known as the Dixon Medical Center, the facility will house doctors, specialists, and even a medical training school.
It's extremely exciting. I've lived in the downtown area for most of my life, and to bring that service to this particular site is a home run for the community. over the last little while, we've lost so many family doctors in the downtown core and other physicians that it's nice to bring people back into this core and help all the new residents that are going to be occupying space in the Gaslight and the future development at the mill. So it's much more than just urgent care. Urgent care is a big thing that's going to be a significant help to this community, but we're also bringing in family doctors who will be rostering new patients in the spring of 2023. And we also have a significant size specialist clinic upstairs that is going to feature specialists such as neurologists, endocrinologists, respirologists, audiologists, all sorts of different services in one location that's convenient for everyone. Official opening date is January 30th, 2023. That is our official date. Tenants will occupy before that date, but our grand opening will be on the 30th. Family doctors, 4 to start, and they will roster a new set of patients for this location. So we're going to post a sign when it comes time that people can register online. The new medical center is going to be state-of-the-art. It's going to be finished to a very high standard, and it will last for multiple generations of Cambridge residents to come.
We're seeing unprecedented growth in Cambridge, and many of our residents do not have a family doctor. Even my own son, actually, his doctor retired, and he doesn't have one. And he's not alone in with this problem. So having an urgent care clinic that they can go to is essential. It's also not just an urgent care center. It's going to have several specialists. It's going to have family doctors, and I think they want to do some education and research trials there. So I think, as a center, it's going to be very comprehensive. And again, it sits on the banks of the Grand River. So, any doctor thinking of relocating, I think it would be very attractive for them to be with their peers, to have the urgent care right there, and also such a beautiful neighborhood if they choose to actually reside here. Obviously more funding, which is what the province has been asking the federal government for. And, the cost of education to become a specialist or any kind of medical practitioner is prohibitive to many people. We also need to make it easier for immigrants to be licensed in, pretty well all areas of healthcare, but also either the trades, you name it.
Europe has been in the headlines this week as a deadly heat wave sees temperatures of more than 40 degrees Celsius. We spoke with Catherine Bacchus from the University of Waterloo about what this means and what we can expect here at home.
It's telling us that these events are being made more severe by climate change, which is predicted and confirmed by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which is the authoritative body of all things climate change. So over the last 20 to 30 years, the predictions have been that we will experience more extreme heat around the world. And that's certainly here in Canada, where Canada has already warmed by 2 to 3 times more than the global average. When you look at multiple factors, these events are getting worse. So you have extreme heat, which causes drought-like events, which is drying out of crops, crops not growing. And this is already amplified by supply chain issues. And so this is a major problem for the agricultural sector. So what I could say is that, yes, when we look at multiple factors, climate change is irreversible. So we're not going backwards. So these types of events, such as extreme heat, they are only going to get worse over time. So over the course of the next 30 to 40 years, we're going to see a doubling, a tripling, and even in some areas, a quadrupling of hot days per summer that exceed 30 degrees Celsius. So right now, if I use Montreal as an example, you have about 11 or 12 days that exceed 30 degrees Celsius. By 2050 to 2060, there will be approximately 54 days that exceed 30 degrees Celsius. And the maximum daily temperatures for cities across Canada over the next 30 years, that's going to go up by about 3 to 5 degrees. So maximum daily temperatures in Toronto right now are 36 to 37 degrees Celsius. Over the next 30 years, that's going to go up to 42 degrees Celsius. Now, if I was to pinpoint specific regions across Canada, I would say South Central British Columbia in low-lying areas from the West Coast to the Rocky Mountains, southern regions of the prairies along the US border, and the North Shore of Lake Erie to the St. Lawrence River Valley in southern Ontario and Quebec. And just to highlight, that's where most of the Canadian population resides. Canada's on the right track when we're looking at climate change, and that's not just for extreme heat. I'm talking about flooding and wildfire, but we need to put programs in place much more rapidly to mitigate that risk. But for extreme heat more specifically, it's behavioral. So behavioral adaptation needs to be put into place. So when we're looking at those who are the most vulnerable, so the elderly, specifically the elderly who live alone, we need to be able to map out where these individuals live, and we need to check on those individuals when an extreme heat event is occurring. Canada, we have the information, we know what to do. And so people, when we have these conversations, it's very doom and gloom and it is very scary, but we have mechanisms in place. We've done the research. We know what to do. We just need to be able to deploy it faster. We need to put these programs in place much more rapidly to mitigate this risk.
Your Region This Week continues after this.
Cheers to that. Just love getting to meet people that are passionate about what they're doing in the community, and we get to experience what actually is trending. I've been really lucky, I think, to meet these inspiring people. It's a show to actually have fun and engage with people. The show is based on fun. Let people get excited about junk, what? And inspiration. Watch #Trending with Aaliyah Thursdays at 7 p.m. on Rogers TV.
I'm Gagwege. My name means everything.
Tom Longboats.
I am Wolf Clan, Onondaga Nation. I've run many different races. I've run to survive and to be free. I've run to win for honor.
His people might be lazy, but this one's damn fast.
My people respected our runners, people who carried important messages from village to village.
I need a guide to the next post. Dispatch carrier, sir. I can get you there.
God sakes, man, slow down. Who do you think I am, Tom Longboat?
No, sir. I am.
Running makes me feel alive. It's everything.
Tom Longboat was the first Indigenous person to win the Boston Marathon. He ran his way to international fame and became an inspiration to generations of athletes.
Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m., it's the RTV Quiz. Giovanni Petiti hosts a weekly trivia competition that lets you play from the comfort of your couch. Play along at home and challenge your friends. And don't forget to follow along on social media. Let us know who's top of trivia, and you can find yourself featured on a future episode.
Are you kidding me, folks?
The RTV Quiz, Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. on Rogers TV or at rogerstv.com/RTV Quiz.
Welcome back. Here are the highlights from the Six Nations Chiefs over the past week. Saturday, July 16th, the Six Nations Chiefs took on the Brooklyn LC. Brooklyn opens the scoring with a goal from Dyson Williams, giving Brooklyn the early lead. Six Nations will respond with not just one goal, but 4 goals, back-to-back from Durston, Sulver, Jameson, and Scanlon, giving Six Nations the 4-1 lead.
It's a nice little fast break opportunity, and a shot, and a score on the fast break. That time,
Brooklyn will net a pair of goals in quick succession from Pilcher and Lanchbury to get them back in it, But Austin Stotts will put in another one for the Chiefs in the final minutes of the first. Chiefs up 5-3 going to the second. Sam LeClaire will get things started with a short-handed goal, followed by another pair of goals from Brooklyn's Bushy and Barnacle. Brooklyn trailing 6-5. Chiefs will finish up the period with 2 goals from Cupido and Sulver to put them up 8-5 going into the third. Brendan Bombury will open the scoring in the third for the Chiefs to pad their lead. Brooklyn will respond with 3 back-to-back goals from Lanchbury, Barnable, and Wild. Trailing by just 1 goal, Brooklyn can't seal the deal, and this game ends 9-8 for the Six Nations Chiefs. Sulver and Lanchbury both with 2 goals on the night. Tuesday, July 19th, saw the Peterborough Lakers visiting the Six Nations Chiefs. Lakers opened the scoring with a goal from Holden Katani. Short-handed, the Chiefs will tie the game up with a goal from Austin Stotts.
Wow, Austin Stotts, are you kidding me? Oh. Great shot!
Katoni will pot another one on that same power play to get the Lakers up 2-1. Fennell will tie it back up for the Chiefs only seconds later. In more back and forth action, Moyer will score for the Lakers to regain the lead. Six Nations hits their stride with 3 back-to-back goals from Bombury, Fennell, and Stotts.
Leaves it there for Eric Fennell. Fennell shoots and scores, and the Chiefs take the lead. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first. Austin Stotts. Stotts with a shot, he scores! Wow. Austin Stotts!
Chiefs up 3-5. Hogarth will close out the period with a goal for the Lakers. Peterborough trailing 4-5 going into the second. Harris will once again pad the lead with a goal for the Chiefs. Lakers will tie this game back up with 2 goals from Hassan and Dawson.
Wow, what a shot by Austin. And now scampering down, Paul Dawson. Dawson shoots down low and scores. Wow.
Six Nations will get 2 back of their own from Harris and Durston as we head into the third period. Chiefs up 6-8.
Stop it, it's in the net. That one's squeaker.
The Chiefs will add another pair of goals from Bombury and LeClaire to take their lead to 10-6.
Brendan Bombury, what a feed. Moving the ball around, shot, scores! Skip to Mailou, that was LeClaire, number 92.
Peterborough pots 1 last goal from Garcia.
And there's an opportunity, and hitting pay dirt is Carson Moore. You talked about it, Daryl Smart. He's been all over the floor and making all kinds of plays, and there he is getting on the board.
But Bombury will get the hat trick, and the Chiefs win this game 11-7.
Rather, that was Brendan Bombury with a bomb, and he puts the Chiefs.
Bombury with 3 goals on the night. Buchan and Jameson both with 33 saves. Upcoming games have the Chiefs playing host to the Coburg Kodiaks for the final game of the season on Tuesday. You can catch all future Chiefs games right here, live on Rogers TV. We'll be right back after these messages. weekly in-depth coverage of the most local stories in Stratford, Perth, Brantford, Brant, Guelph, Wellington, and the Waterloo region. Hyperlocal stories that matter to you and your community. All this and more on Your Region This Week. All local, all year round. New episodes every Friday at 7 p.m. right here on Rogers TV.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Life can be stressful. I know that. We're here to help you. Simple, easy recipes, amazing guests. At Home with Chef D, Wednesdays, 6 p.m. on Rogers TV.
Welcome back. Over the past couple of weeks, the province has announced some expanded accessibility to COVID-19 vaccines. Here's Your Region This Week producer, Robert Kubinga, with the details.
As of July 14th, anyone 18 years of age or older can get their fourth dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. In order to get your second booster, you must meet the following criteria. You must wait 5 months or 140 days after you've received your first booster, unless you have information that you are able to get it after waiting only 3 months or 84 days and you understand the risks. As of July 28th, the province of Ontario has announced that children between the ages of 6 months and 5 years of age are able to book appointments for the pediatric COVID-19 vaccine. Immunocompromised youth between the ages of 12 and 17 will also be able to schedule their appointments for their second booster as long as 6 months have passed since their first booster. The pediatric COVID-19 vaccine is a slightly modified and lower dose Moderna vaccine that will be implemented in a 2-dose series with 8 weeks between doses. If you must miss work due to testing, vaccinations, booster shots, self-isolation, or to care for a family member who is ill from COVID-19, Ontario has extended the paid COVID-19 leave program until March 31st, 2023. Eligible workers can receive up to $200 a day for up to 3 days of leave. For more information on the vaccination expansion or COVID-19 leave, visit covid19.ontario.ca. For Your Region This Week, I'm Robert Kubinga.
That's all for this episode of Your Region This Week. If you have a story idea, visit our website, rogerstv.com/yourregion-this-week, and contact our producer. There you can also watch past segments from the show. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.